Hello! Imagine a place where the sun scorches the earth by day and at night icy winds sweep across the horizon. A place where life itself seems impossible, yet it's here that humanity's boldest battle with nature is unfolding. On the edge of China's merciless desert, among dunes and dried riverbeds, an incredible experiment is taking place. This isn't science fiction or a movie. It's reality, though it's hard to believe. Sea creatures in the heart of the sands, pools of water among the dunes, and plans so ambitious they take your breath away. What price is humanity willing to pay to gain control over nature? And can a barren wasteland truly be transformed into a blooming oasis? The answers to these questions you'll discover right now.
An endless desert. At night, it's pierced by a biting cold. The temperature drops below zero. By day, the opposite extreme takes over. The heat climbs to 50 degrees Celsius, and all you can do is search for shade. Of course, there's none to be found. Yet these wild temperature swings are far from the worst hardship of this lifeless land. Surviving here is nearly impossible. All around stretch vast seas of sand, broken only by the occasional patch of scrub or a stubborn cactus. Now and then a mouse might dart by or a few insects buzz overhead, but overall, this place can hardly be called habitable. Even we, humans, capable of adapting to almost anything, tend to give such places a wide berth. But now, imagine this. What if those endless golden sand seas suddenly changed color? What if they turned a dazzling blue instead? It sounds like fantasy, but it isn't. One country has incredibly ambitious plans to transform its deserts. Can you guess which one dreams of turning sand into water, apart from nations in Africa? Of course, China. But why them specifically? Let's start with this. For China, deserts aren't just a backdrop, they're a serious problem. According to official data, more than 3 million square kilometers of Chinese land have degraded to the point of being uninhabitable or unusable for agriculture. That's nearly 1/3 of the country's entire territory, which spans a total of 9.6 million square kilometers. And the most troubling part? A significant portion of that degraded land consists of true, expanding deserts.
But everything could change. China not only recognizes the problem, it's actively fighting it. One of its most ambitious undertakings is a colossal water diversion tunnel designed to transform one of the country's most inhospitable regions, the Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region, or simply Xinjiang. Located in China's northwest, Xinjiang is the largest of all the country's regions, covering more than 1.6 million square kilometers. At first glance, it might seem like the perfect place for agricultural development. But in reality, things aren't nearly so promising. As of 2015, only 99,700 square kilometers of land here were considered suitable for farming. Why so little? The answer lies in the terrain. Much of the region is dominated by vast mountain ranges, the Tian Shan, Pamir, Karakoram, and Altai. The landscapes are breathtaking, but only the narrow foothill valleys offer conditions that support life or agriculture. And even if you could carve tunnels through those mountains, it wouldn't solve Xinjiang's greatest challenge, its deserts. One of them, the Taklamakan, is truly immense. It's a vast sea of sand, almost devoid of life. Its name, in the Uyghur language, means the place of no return, or abandoned place, and it couldn't be more fitting. The Taklamakan is China's largest desert and one of the biggest shifting sand deserts in the world. To put that in perspective, Germany's total area is about 357,000 square kilometers, while the Taklamakan alone covers 337,000, almost an entire country made of sand. Its barrenness is explained by the harsh climate and unique hydrology. Almost all the rivers that reach this area vanish into the sands after just 100 to 200 kilometers. Only one, the Hotan River, manages to flow far enough to join the Tarim River, which runs along the northern and western edges of the desert. To make things worse, groundwater lies deep beneath the surface at depths of 5 to 10 meters, creating an almost insurmountable obstacle for plant life. Only in rare spots where the water table is closer to the surface can small patches of vegetation survive.
As for wildlife, there's hardly any to speak of. The ecosystem is extremely sparse. In the end, China's largest region is a mosaic of natural barriers that make the establishment of a stable agricultural system nearly impossible. That's why China has conceived an unprecedented project to turn part of the desert into a man-made body of water, making it more suitable for both life and agriculture. But where will the water come from? The answer lies in the Himalayas, or more precisely, the Yarlung-Tsangpo River. This is Tibet's longest river and the fifth longest in all of China, stretching 1,125 kilometers. It's also the highest altitude river in the country, with its waters flowing at elevations of more than 3,500 meters above sea level. The project envisions building a tunnel through the challenging rock formations of the Himalayas to deliver water to the arid regions beyond. It's an extremely ambitious task, but with modern technology, such a feat is no longer beyond reach. To carve a path through the mighty and unforgiving Himalayas, China plans to deploy tunnel boring machines, or TBMs. Of course, these aren't magic wands that solve every engineering challenge, but they can drastically speed up the process. One such machine, known as Bella, is a true marvel of engineering. According to its developers, Bella can drill up to 9 meters per day, working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week without stopping. However, even this cutting-edge technology comes with serious challenges. Bella weighs 4,000 tons, requires constant maintenance, and consumes an enormous amount of power. And the proposed route of the tunnel stretches for around 1,000 kilometers, through mountains, rock, and everything nature has placed between Tibet and Xinjiang's deserts. Difficult? Absolutely. But not impossible. A number of Chinese experts are convinced it can be done, especially given the country's recent accomplishments in similar undertakings. One striking example is the water tunnel in Yunnan province, which already extends 600 kilometers and cuts through 6 mountain ranges. And it's designed in such a way that 2 high-speed trains could travel through it side by side. This project is giving Chinese engineers invaluable experience. They've already constructed 25 inverted siphons, 17 aqueducts, and 15 culverts, all designed to transport water through difficult terrain. It's also provided early cost estimates. According to available data, the Yunnan water tunnel has already cost around $12 billion. But the expected results are even more impressive than the enormous expense. The Yunnan water tunnel is projected to supply 11 million people with fresh water, cover 35 counties, and improve agricultural conditions across more than 36,000 square kilometers, all without the need for dams, minimizing interference with the natural flow of rivers. So it's quite possible that soon millions of liters of water will also flow into Xinjiang. And that means a part of this sun-scorched desert land could finally be transformed into a livable zone, suitable for farming, habitation, and even aquaculture. Interestingly, the water delivered through the tunnel may not be the region's only source of moisture. In the mid-2010s, Professor Li Yan and his team from the Xinjiang Institute of Geography in Urumqi made a sensational discovery. They claimed that a truly colossal amount of water lies hidden beneath the Tarim Basin. As the scientists themselves put it, no one could have imagined how much water might be hiding beneath the sand. According to their estimates, this underground reservoir holds 10 times more water than all 5 of North America's Great Lakes combined, whose total volume is 22,725 cubic kilometers. In other words, more than 220,000 cubic kilometers of water lie buried beneath the Earth's surface. It sounds incredible, but there's a catch. The water is unusable. It's not only salty, but also contains a high concentration of carbon dioxide, making it unsuitable for any practical purpose. For now, this treasure remains locked away and untapped. But let's turn to something more realistic and far more successful happening right now in Xinjiang. The Chinese aren't just bringing water to the desert, they're reinventing the use of barren land, transforming it into a source of seafood. And all this is happening in the most landlocked region on Earth. Yes, that's right. Xinjiang is farther from the ocean than any other place on the planet. Yet, in the city of Tumshuk, enterprising farmers are using saline and alkaline soil to create artificial ponds for raising marine fish. It all begins in greenhouses, where fish fry are bred and gradually acclimated to local conditions. When the outdoor temperature becomes suitable, the fish are transferred to open ponds where trace elements and probiotics are added to replicate the mineral composition of seawater. Even more astonishingly, on the outskirts of the Taklamakan Desert, farmers are now raising salmon.
How is that even possible? How could salmon possibly thrive here? It turns out the secret lies in the melting glaciers of the Tian Shan Mountains, whose waters maintain a steady temperature of around 12 degrees Celsius year-round. The water is pure and slow-flowing, creating ideal conditions for this demanding fish species. The salmon are raised in special enclosures, protected from predators, but open enough for easy maintenance. After harvest, the fish are placed in instant freezing units that chill them to below -5 degrees Celsius within seconds, preserving freshness before they're sent off to processing facilities. The result? As of 2024, Xinjiang's salmon production reached 7,000 tons. But that's not all. On the edge of the Taklamakan Desert, they're also raising crabs. Yes, crabs in the desert. It sounds absurd, but not for China. During flood seasons, the Yulong River fills local spawning ponds, creating the perfect environment for breeding hardy species. The soil here is a nightmare, rich in alkali and salt, but the Chinese have found a solution, cultivating specially adapted, salt-tolerant crabs. There's even an entire crab farm near the Nanping Reservoir in Moyu County, right on the desert's edge. Crab larvae are regularly introduced there, and the water, sourced from melting glacial streams, provides the ideal conditions for this unlikely form of aquaculture.
And when there isn't enough water, they draw it from saline lakes, purify it, and enrich it with minerals to recreate conditions close to those of the sea. All this so that even here, in the heart of these barren sands, life is not only possible, but thriving. But the Chinese didn't stop there. Their determination to bring water to the Taklamakan Desert proved stronger than any natural limitation. Just imagine, amid endless dunes, where the sun scorches the ground by day and the temperature plunges at night, where not a single blade of grass can grow, a fish farm is being built. Not just a pond, but a full-scale aquaculture facility right in the heart of the desert. The mastermind behind this seemingly insane yet brilliant idea is Gong Yunhong. He began by conducting thorough market research and field surveys, and the results were clear. As living standards rise, so does the demand for high-quality seafood. That's when inspiration struck. The desert actually had unique advantages. The abundant sunlight and sharp temperature contrasts between day and night could be harnessed to benefit aquaculture. Based on these insights, Gong Yunhong developed a detailed plan to turn this barren land into a source of marine produce, and soon began construction.
Just 4 months after the project's launch, the first batch of marine life was introduced into the system. 100,000 fry of rare fish species, silver pomfret, rock grouper, mullet, dark rabbitfish, and even eel were released into the ponds. Thanks to proper care, the survival rate exceeded 99%, and within a short time, the fry grew from 3 to 8 to 9 centimeters. Today, the facility covers 13,300 square meters. It includes 2 fish ponds, a breeding pool, and a modern processing plant for seafood production. But fish farming wasn't the only goal. In 2023, the desert became home to pearl cultivation. 2 million pearl oysters and several species of marine mollusks were introduced into the ponds for experimental breeding. The oysters adapted remarkably well to the extreme conditions. Sharp temperature fluctuations and abundant sunlight turned out to be ideal for forming pearls of exceptional quality. This technological breakthrough in pearl farming became a real sensation. As it turned out, the desert's harsh environment actually helps create pearls of unique brilliance.
The first batch of desert pearls hit the market this year, and experts are already predicting strong global demand. Meteorological stations provide 48-hour forecasts, warning of sandstorms and sudden drops in temperature. This allows farmers to take protective measures in advance. At the same time, the developers have achieved impressive environmental results: zero antibiotics, zero emissions, and zero pollution. And the entire high-tech system can be managed by just 2 people. Gong Yunhong didn't just build a farm. He set out to popularize seafood delicacies grown in the heart of the desert. To achieve this, he actively collaborates with distributors across the country, participates in agro-industrial exhibitions, and develops sales channels through e-commerce. His goal is simple yet ambitious: to make sure that every Chinese person, and eventually people around the world, can taste salmon, rabbitfish, or oysters raised among the sand dunes. And he doesn't plan to stop there. The next step is to combine aquaculture with tourism. Gong Yunhong envisions transforming his farm into a multifunctional center, a place where visitors can not only see how fish are raised in the desert, but also spend time there, enjoy local cuisine, and relax. Guided tours, tastings, workshops, and leisure amid a one-of-a-kind landscape, all in the very heart of the Taklamakan Desert. In this way, the Chinese are not merely fighting against the desert, they are mastering it, taming it, and turning it into a hub of future development where even marine life can flourish among the sands. That's all for today, my friends. Give this video a like if you found it interesting, leave a comment, and see you soon.